Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's layout, we are working in my Life Crafted album, which is the Traveler's Notebook size. Even though I am aware that they did come out with a 6x8, so I think I always have to clarify the size, but we're working in like a Traveler's Notebook size spread. It is in the middle of two spreads that are already done on opposite sides, so I do want to utilize this rainbow stripe paper and this blank white one for something fun. And with the rainbow, it is a little bit bleed through from the marker on the other side, but I have these photos of my daughter and Miguel from 2 years ago. She was a little cherub then, and so I thought the rainbow worked well with their vibrant green shirts. Is it picking up on the camera? Yes, they're wearing like really bright shirts. They're bright green. And so with that, I've pulled like these alphas because I feel like they can pop if I make a title on this side. And I have like these kind of primary colored big phrases. And then I have these two old Amy Tangerine collections that I just thought were both kind of like primary colors that are still in my stash. And what I'm kind of feeling is, like I pulled this one because this one has a lot of green. Clearly I didn't use this yet. This is an old collection. I don't even remember the name of this one. Does it even say? I'm trying to like read even like the date it was printed. These are some antiques. And this one as well. This one is 2015. I've had this in my stash for 7 years, y'all. This one probably got chopped off where that one has the year. Actually, it says 2014. You can tell the bottom number. So these are definitely antiques. So I am trying to figure out that if I put anything on this side, I would have to back it on copy paper because they're all clear stickers. Or else I'm thinking kind of like to kill the sheet of paper and kind of make all of these into a cluster and like a pattern paper. And then I'm thinking in order to have the journaling be, I'm gonna have to have a little like flip up moment. So that's where we're at. I hope you've been enjoying me working in the size recently. It's actually considered for me like quick scrapbooking or fast scrapbooking because of the size scale. So in essence, I'm working like on an 8x8 and it's actually been very enjoyable. So in fact, if I can have two layouts on this video, I will have this one and I'll start the footage for another one if the video is not too long. You know, I always like to keep mine around that 10-minute mark or under. So let's get started. Okay, so I think I've always shared this tip before, but whenever you're dealing with clear stickers and you want them to be more opaque, so for instance, these floral stickers, if I put them directly on that rainbow paper in the background, it would be lost. And so I just put it on simple copy paper and I'm just fussy cutting them out. I did this what I think about 2 or 3 stickers. That way they would be opaque and pop on this rainbow paper. And then on the opposite side, on this white one, all I'm going to do, honestly, is just use up the sticker collection on this page and make like an overlaying collage where I have certain things that I've specifically placed in order for them to peek out depending on where I have, desired my photos to be. And it worked out really good. I mean, I've seen this technique done in the past as well, where, basically I'm making a busy pattern paper from stickers in order to use them in my stash. Like I said, these are antiques. I've had them in a bin sitting next to my desk for, what was it, like 7 years. And that means it's not gracing my albums. It's not in any of my, filler cards in Project Life. So now they're in my, Life Crafted album and they will be seen and enjoyed. Because that is just half of what happens with us scrappy people. I know I'm not the only one. Like, we hoard things. And don't get me wrong, at the time when I bought this, I think I had went to a scrapbook expo with Caddy. So this is back in the day when we used to get together and scrap. And yeah, that's like years ago. And so you don't use it. We all hoard. So that's why you don't use it, because I only brought one sheet, and you sit there and you're like, darn, I should have had two so that I can like use one and then still hoard one. And these have been sitting in my collection as these like bold primary colors. I remember this was like one of my favorite collections because I love that cerulean blue. So good. And Amy Tangerine in general, like, where has she been? I can't remember. The last collection was Brave and Bold, and it wasn't my favorite. I didn't get a lot of it. But she needs to come out with another collection. I've always loved Amy Tangerine. So, on the opposite side, I am using the alphas to spell out daddy's girl. And don't get me wrong, when you're watching it here, I do just make it girl plural, just kind of referring to Valentina. But my little Zoe was in the picture, so on the close-ups, you will see the S at the end of girl. So it's daddy's girls. My Zoe passed away last year. Well, actually, has it been it's been 2 years now, actually. I keep on just thinking it's always just last year. I miss her dearly. I always, these photos come up on Facebook memories, and I'm just like brought to a little tear to my eye. But it was fun to do this layout, and my journaling will include stories of both of the girls with Daddy Roo. Okay, so that finishes up this one. It's still very colorful as well, but you know what? To kill, almost have killed this sheet, which I may just give this to Valentina to kind of place on her little notebooks and papers and stuff to finish this one off, is a good thing. And it's primary colors, which sometimes isn't done a lot in collections lately. So this Amy Tangerine one now will be graced in my book, and I will do the typing of the journaling inside here. I put that other sticker with too funny because they were laughing. And it was just a fun little t-shirt set that just said taco and taquito for us and my little Zoe. If you've been here, you know that she passed away last year. So it's good to have these memories in the book. Let's do a layout number 2. Okay, for layout number 2, we're going to scrap a few photos I took while me and my mom took Vale bowling during spring break. So it was like a little selfie and then just our shoes and stuff. I always like doing pictures, like the little shoe. So I always use this template to see how big the pages go in the Life Crafted album. And this is a Let's Wander Viands from Michaels. This was hauled a while ago, and it's the first page that's in here that I kind of love, only because I don't really have a kit or anything to work with this. So I was just kind of spacing it out to see that I want like this section into it. So I'll just take you through the process of how I cut it out. And then there's just enough here that I can use it as a little journaling tag. So I took out a tag and just was like, yeah, I can use that. And then maybe have a little tuck spot for the journaling. But we're going to use this pretty paper. Then I've pulled out, I've totally been stash diving. I pulled out a few things that I thought I could use. I pulled this one out simply for the stars that are in here. They're gold stars to match that. And there are also just some green ones here that could also go. I kind of like the good vibes here for a title somewhere if it fits, even though I could probably use anything on this one. And then the same here. I liked all like the little black dimensional elements just to kind of bring these down. And actually, now that I look at it too, the Love This frame actually could work really well for that one. So look, that was serendipity, just looking at it a little bit more again. And maybe like this part, maybe moments. So yeah, we'll get started. Okay, so I'm not really big into measuring like with a ruler when it comes to kind of getting my layouts into a proper size. I usually just do a little hash mark, which is why I made these little templates so that I kind of can use it over and over again and punch the holes and, continue on from there. But I love this mixed media paper. It reminds me, I think I said it when I hauled it, it reminds me of that pad that Vicky Booten offers, that kind of has these like mixed media started background, and then you can go from there. So it works out great. That frame I did use for that picture of Vale staring at her ball down the aisle or lane. And then this was that scrap paper that I told you that I was going to make into a tag. And instead I kind of just made it into like a little pamphlet, a little half fold pamphlet. And then I cut around that circle that was left there with a gold embossed star. And it works out perfectly to be like a little pullout for hidden journaling. That way I have enough room to kind of tell my story of this day. Of course, when you go bowling, if you have a 4-year-old, you have to have the bumpers on, and the balls are a little bit heavy, and so she needs a little help kind of bringing it to the aisle. And then they have those little like ramps that you can definitely do, but then she didn't want to do the ramp. It's a long ordeal. So that's the story I'm basically sharing. I do use the chunky gold stars, one on each page. And I also go in, what else do I go in with? But here I am just making the pocket. I'm using my red line tape because it is thinner. I think it's the 1/8 inch one, in order for this little pamphlet fold to have a nice space when you do it. A trick too when you're doing this is make sure to have the little paper or tag behind it when you are sticking it down, because you want that accommodation for that thickness, because sometimes when you've done it, I've done it, and it's just flush to the paper, it is such a tight squeeze that it sometimes buckles the paper, and then that can be a problem when it's in your album. So here I am using the like black puffy stickers for some text, like tiny word stickers, and I do use the Good Times puffy sticker too from that collection. Those are the ones that I felt worked best for this layout. All right, that will wrap up these two Traveler's Notebook size layouts. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked me killing that sticker kit, that sticker sheet from Amy Tangerine for this cute and fun one. I will go ahead and do the journaling underneath here. And I most likely for these will just handwrite them. That way I can just wrap these up rather quickly. And then I finished this one, which I'll probably adhere to the back of this one. And so this one was just our spring break going bowling with grandma. Vale did so good. Very colorful, and I loved using that kind of mixed media already paper. That way I didn't have to do any of that watercolor work or embossing. And then you saw me make this really cute flip pocket where I'll have the journaling in here too, and cutting out that one circle. That way it almost acts like a tab, which is fantastic. So I'll probably put, like I said, put that one back to that. And then that will be in there as so. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification next to it. That way you'll know when I upload. And please give this video a thumbs up.